There's nothing more rewarding than succeeding in a difficult task or workout. The advice I'd give is that tough times don't last, but tough people do. A difficult situation has to end at some point, so you need to stay strong and know that at some point you are going to come out on the other side a much stronger person. My name is Jessica Coughlan. I'm a CrossFitter from Sydney, Australia. My greatest achievement in terms of competitions would be qualifying for the CrossFit Games as an individual and then re-qualifying again this year. It's, the highest level you can achieve. It's nice to get those accolades and see that the time you do spend making sacrifices sort of in the gym or in your social life, stuff like that, pays off. My mindset going into competitions is just to focus on one workout at a time and execute my plan that I've got in place or that I've prepared with my coach. And once that workout's over and I go on to the next workout, I then focus on that purely and forget about what's happened. So if I can execute every little piece of the puzzle correctly, then at the end of the weekend I can be satisfied with my result. A mantra I give myself every day is that if you give your best effort, you can only be satisfied. A lot of people try and train themselves into the ground, but I'm a big believer in quality over quantity and making sure that every session I do is at 100%. When I'm at the very end of my limits, I tell myself that this workout or this situation isn't going to last forever, and if you keep pushing through, and obviously the faster you push through, it's going to be over soon. A typical day for me starts with going around my house. I have a lot of animals, dogs, cats, chickens, and ducks, and they actually require a lot of work. So I start my day sorting them out. I then get my first training session done for the day. So my first training session is usually an aerobic piece. After I do that first training session, I'll have a meal and spend some time doing a little bit of recovery. The middle of the day for me is all about business. So I have to do a lot of emails for my 2 CrossFit affiliates I own, but also for my online programming. Once I get on top of all of that, it's time to head back to the gym. And in the afternoon, I'll probably do about a 2-hour session of some strength work and some skill work and maybe some conditioning or metcons. After that, I try and do a little bit of recovery work again, and the day's pretty much over. So I try and have a big dinner and relax with my partner in front of the TV with all our animals. And then it's an early night and off to bed before, we do it all again the next day. I recently competed in a competition where I knew I was going to have to do some ocean swimming. Ocean swimming and swimming in general are pretty big fears of mine. I had to, go back to, other uncomfortable situations I'd been in and known that I'd overcome them previously, and that facing my fear and getting in the water regularly would help me overcome that situation. It was still difficult, but I definitely had the skills to do that, and that's thanks to my previous training. My advice for someone who wants to become mentally stronger is to put yourself in uncomfortable situations regularly, but situations that give you the chance of experiencing success at the same time. Doing little things each day that you might not have done otherwise, step by step each day, they are going to make you mentally stronger. Dealing with pressure for me is quite a tricky thing. I do get really nervous and anxious in a lot of situations. I find that reframing things in a positive light, just in my self-talk, is really big for me. So instead of saying, what if I fail, I try and reframe it mentally and say something to myself like, what if I do really well today? I find that little small affirmations and keeping them positive will make a huge difference to your mindset and just the way you approach things. I've definitely wanted to quit at some point. I just had to take it back to why I started in the first place and why I have continued for so long. It's the feeling of getting in the gym every day and succeeding in small tasks. It's the feeling of doing something you didn't think was possible. It's the friendships and the social connections I've made through this sport. And when you look back on all the positives, they far outweigh the negatives. I do this because I love it. I'd miss it if I wasn't doing it, so that's all you have to remind yourself. I sweat because I absolutely love the physical and mental challenges that come with it and the feeling of overcoming those challenges.